All right, today we're going to dive into one of the most powerful and honestly most elegant ideas in all of math and science, the Fourier transform. Now, I know that sounds kind of heavy, but stick with me. This is the secret sauce that invisibly powers our world, from the music you stream to the medical images that literally save lives. So, how does it all work? Well, to really get it, we need to start thinking about a recipe.
So let's kick things off with a bit of a puzzle. What on earth could possibly connect a musical chord, like from a guitar or piano, and a high-tech MRI scan? I mean, they seem like they're from completely different universes, right? But it turns out they share a very deep, fundamental secret.
And that secret is a recipe. Yep, a recipe. Just think about it. A cake is made from flour, sugar, and eggs, right? Well, in the same way, these really complex things, that rich sound, that detailed medical image, they're actually built from much, much simpler ingredients. The real trick, the magic, is just knowing how to read that recipe.
And the tool that lets us read that recipe, well, that's our first big idea. Think of the Fourier transform as the master key. It's the thing that unlocks a signal's hidden complexity, breaking it down into its most basic, simple parts.
Okay, check this out. On the left, you got the final dish, that complex sound of a musical chord as it actually hits your ear. It's a single, messy-looking wave changing over time. But on the right, you have the ingredients. It's just a simple, clean list of the pure, individual notes, the frequencies, that all mix together to create that sound. The complex sound is what we hear, the simple frequencies are what it's made of. So how do we get from that finished dish all the way back to the ingredient list? Well, that is exactly what the Fourier transform does. It's this beautiful mathematical process that takes any complex signal and works backward to give us a precise list of its ingredients and exactly how much of each one we need. It reveals the fundamental frequencies that built the whole thing. Whoa, okay, don't panic. I know, that looks like some serious math. But for what we're doing here, you do not need to be a calculus wizard. The big idea is what's so cool. This elegant equation is just the formal process for taking a signal, which we call f of x, and pulling out its frequency recipe, f hat z. We're focused on what it does, not every little detail of how we calculate it. This whole idea of a final dish versus an ingredient list, it actually represents two completely different ways of looking at the exact same information. It's a concept that engineers and physicists call the time-frequency switch. And this analogy just nails it. The time domain is what we experience directly, right? It's the music unfolding second by second. It's like watching a cake bake, seeing it rise and brown over 30 minutes, moment by moment. The frequency domain, on the other hand, is like just reading the recipe. It doesn't care about time. It just tells you got 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of sugar, 3 eggs. It's a list of the components and how strong they are.
So you see, the Fourier transform is the bridge. It's the amazing tool that lets us switch our perspective. It takes us from the timeline of the baking process to the clean, simple clarity of the ingredient list. Both views are describing the exact same cake, just in 2 totally different languages.
So why does any of this actually matter? I mean, who cares? Well, because being able to see this ingredient list turns out to be ridiculously powerful. This isn't just some neat mathematical trick, it is a true cornerstone of modern science and engineering.
And just get a load of this list. It's just a tiny sample of its impact. MP3 and JPEG file compression, that's all Fourier transform. Those amazing noise-canceling headphones, you guessed it, it's fundamental to quantum mechanics, it's used to analyze images, solve incredibly hard equations, even to figure out the chemical makeup of distant stars. It is, and I'm not exaggerating, everywhere. Let's just take one quick example. MP3 compression. When you listen to a song, your ear really only cares about the most dominant frequencies. The main melody, the bass line, the core harmony. The Fourier transform can identify those super important ingredients, but it also finds the frequencies that are way too high or way too quiet for you to even notice. You can think of that as noise. So by basically just throwing away that noise, we can make the file size dramatically smaller without you even noticing a difference in quality.
And the result is just stunningly effective. We can often keep just 10% of the most important frequency information, toss out the other 90%, and our brains just kind of fill in the gaps. We perceive something that sounds almost identical to the original. That is the power of knowing the recipe.
But, and this is where things get really interesting, this incredible tool comes with a fascinating, almost mind-bending limitation. It's a kind of cosmic trade-off that's baked right into the fabric of reality itself.
It's called the uncertainty principle.
Let's go back to our cake for a second. So here's the question. Can you know exactly when the cake is perfectly baked? I mean, down to the nanosecond. And at that exact same instant, also have a perfectly precise list of all its ingredients?
The simple and frankly profound answer from the universe is no, you can't. And it's not because our tools aren't good enough. It has nothing to do with our ability to measure things. It's a fundamental rule of how things work.
This reveals a fundamental trade-off. Think about a sudden, sharp clap. It's super short, so you know with amazing precision when it happened, right? But because it was so brief, its frequency recipe is a blurry, uncertain mess. Now think of the opposite, a pure, single note from a flute, held for a really long time. Its frequency is incredibly precise, but you can't really pinpoint when it happened. It's all spread out over time.
And get this isn't just some quirky thing about sound. This principle applies to all waves. In the bizarre world of quantum mechanics, this is the famous Heisenberg uncertainty principle. A particle's position and its momentum are what we call Fourier pairs. So the more precisely you know its position, the less precisely you can ever know its momentum, and vice versa. It's the exact same cosmic trade-off.
At the end of the day, as the mathematicians would say, you simply cannot arbitrarily concentrate a function and its Fourier transform. If you squeeze one, the other one will always spread out. It's not a flaw in the system, it's just a deep, beautiful truth about how information is structured in our universe.
And that really leaves us with a final massive thought. The Fourier transform taught us to look for the hidden recipes in the world around us, in sound, in light, in matter itself. So, if everything we observe is just a complex signal, just a finished dish, what other fundamental ingredients and cosmic recipes are still out there, just waiting for the right tool, the next great idea, to finally reveal them?